In 1942, Enrico Fermi at the University of Chicago and his science team created the world's first nuclear reaction. Now, at the time, this was absolutely groundbreaking because no one had ever thought to harness nuclear energy. But this was the creation of the world's most powerful, but also dangerous forms of energy that we now know as nuclear power. My question is, should nuclear power be shut down? I believe nuclear power should be shut down because it is simply too costly. On average, nuclear power is almost as expensive as solar, wind, and hydropower combined. With that, solar power in the past decade has dropped 90% in price, whereas nuclear power has skyrocketed 40% in price. Solar and wind energy costs about $38 per megawatt, whereas nuclear energy costs about $168 per megawatt. This means that nuclear power is about 4 times expensive as solar and wind combined. Nuclear power plants also cost about 12 to 20 billion to build. Public safety is also a big factor in nuclear power plants. The workers are at huge risk. Some other risks are natural disasters and war and terrorism. Current nuclear power plants are about 31 years old. This also causes problems such as concrete crumbling, pipes cracking, and other valves bursting and getting weak. There are people who believe that nuclear power is essential for the US, but why? Scientists have created cores that are much safer, more efficient, they take up less space, they cost less money, and they produce more power per square mile. This also means that the radioactive waste is less radioactive and safer for workers to work on. Now, if the US continues down this path, we will become more self-reliant, more powerful, and less likely to have power outages. But why is nuclear power bad for our environment? Well, the nuclear waste. Nuclear waste is extremely radioactive and toxic. If it leaks into our environment or water, it can cause the environment around it and even plants, animals, and humans to get either very sick or even die. Now, if this nuclear waste travels into the water and starts flowing into next cities, villages, or countries, this will make millions and millions of people extremely sick or even die. On average, nuclear waste takes about 100 years to dispose of. This means that after the nuclear waste has gone through its 100-year cycle, it will be ready for workers to finally work on and properly dispose of. Due to past accidents such as Chernobyl or other core meltdowns or eruptions, we know what nuclear waste can do to our environment, the humans around it, and the animals and plants. To conclude, nuclear power must be shut down. It is too costly, too dangerous, and it creates toxic waste. With sea levels rising and heat waves increasing, the nuclear power plants that are on the coasts are being forced to shut down even more. If we want to decrease greenhouse gases, we will have to put out twice as many nuclear power plants as we have now until the year 2050. And with that, our greenhouse gases will decrease by only 4%. We also have much cheaper and easier ways to gain energy, such as solar, wind, and hydropower. Now, imagine what our world would be like if we didn't have nuclear energy, how much safer, cleaner our world would be, and how much healthier we would be as humans. With this, we must stop nuclear energy. It is extremely bad for our environment, and it must be stopped.